Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, just hit my like. If you're new here, hi, my name is Janelle and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. And inside this video, I want to show you guys how I got this clean girl makeup look. And if you haven't heard of the clean girl makeup look trend, to me it's basically like a very intentional, minimal, effective, crisp, simple makeup look. Everything is very polished, everything is very minimal, the skin is glowy. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, definitely please keep watching. Before you go anywhere though, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, it would really mean the world. Let's get into the video. Love you guys. I already prepped using my moisturizers, my serum. Make sure you are properly hydrating your skin, taking care of it, because that will make the biggest difference on how your makeup and all that wears. So speaking of being intentional and keeping things to a minimal, when I fill in my brows, I'm gonna start off by cleaning up under them. That way, when I go in with my eyebrow pencil, it like ends up allowing me to use less product because I'm able to see the shape. I'm able to shave off, you know, any hairs at the end that I don't really want to be a part of my brow. And then another big key to this is you want to make sure that you like clean up your brows first. So before I filmed the video, I tweezed my brows as best as I could. And this is what we're working with. They're a little unruly still, but they are looking a lot better than how they were before. So I just coated both sides of my flat definer brush with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And I start by doing a line underneath. And then I'll wipe off the excess concealer and start blending this downward. And so this will kind of create a stencil for how I want my brows filled in. So since there's like a little gap of skin here, no hairs, I'm gonna fill that in. I will, you know, not fill in as far down here because I want to lift the brow. And then I just drag the concealer down to clean up. Now I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows using my Sephora brow pencil, and I'm not going to fill in too much and not too little. So I'm gonna first start off by filling in the gaps, and then I'm gonna lightly shape it without overdrawing too much or applying too much product to where they're too dark. I just do short little tick marks following the direction of my brow hairs, keeping my natural shape. See, like that. Look at this brow versus this brow. A little more cleaned up, but not too different from my natural eyebrow. I need more coffee. My brain is still like in a fog. The next super important part of the clean girl makeup look is setting your eyebrows. I'm going to be using my Got To Be Glued spiking gel. When I apply this, I like to dip my spoolie in the product, and then I'll like wipe off the excess, and I'll let it sit out for 2 minutes before running it through my brows. That way it doesn't get too gloppy, and so I don't get the gel all over my skin. It keeps it really clean and precise. Now I'm going to take the product and back comb and then lay it down. Feather the front of my brow a little bit more. I wanted to do like that clean, sleek back bun. However, the only times I'm able to get my hair super slick back is when it's like my third, fourth day hair and like there's already grease in there. But I literally just washed my hair yesterday and I didn't want to glob on too much hairspray in it, but I still put in a good amount, and like still there's just so many flyaways because my hair is just way too fresh. Step 2 is to conceal. So I find that if I conceal my under eyes and spot conceal first, oh my gosh, I'm so allergic to this gloss, I need to take it off. Every time it gets on my face, I keep getting these red blotches. Oh, now I have more to conceal. Back to what I was saying. I find that if I conceal my under eyes and spot conceal on my face, it allows me to use less foundation. So that way I'm not like going in with like a layer of foundation and then concealing. So I'm gonna take my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and oop, before I do that, almost forgot, we gotta prime, because I also find that primer helps me use way less face products. So I'm gonna be using my NYX Marshmallow Primer. It's my favorite. It just really helps smooth out my skin. And then I find that when I use this, since it smooths out my skin and like my pores and all that, I feel like I end up needing way less face makeup. And it also does a really good job of like rehydrating my skin. So now I'm just going to spot conceal. So I like to apply a little bit underneath of my eyes, and then I'll also drag it down my nose. Spot conceal my hives because I'm allergic to that lip gloss I had on. Cover this guy up. Alright, so this is what the concealer looks like, and I wish that you guys could see the amount of pressure that I put in the amount of product that I use, because although it looks like a lot, it kind of is, but it really isn't. So when applying my concealer, I initially place most of the product right in here because that's where I get most of the darkness. And then from there, once I have most of the product there, I'm just lightly feathering that out versus like layering and glopping on all the concealer. I'm just taking majority of the product that's here and spreading that out, and then whatever's left I'll kind of wipe off, put down my nose, wipe off, spread it out up here, and then I'll just spot conceal. So it's covering a large surface area, but it's not as much concealer as you think. I always recommend starting off with a light layer and then slowly building it up. Now taking my damp beauty sponge, I'm gonna pick up some concealer on the back of my hand, and we're gonna start pushing this into the skin. I'm gonna leave the center of my nose contour unblended for right now. And then I'm gonna take a small brush and use that to get the concealer like right in between my eyebrows so that we have no missing spaces. For foundation today, I've been really enjoying the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate foundation. This is a serum foundation, so it's going to be very light coverage. It leaves your skin with a soft glow. It's just an all-around beautiful foundation. But like I said, it's not going to give you a ton of coverage. If you want to offer something with more coverage, I definitely recommend the e.l.f. CC cream. So I'm going to start off with about 1 pump of the foundation, and I'm going to pick up a little bit with a brush first, and then I'll blend it out with my beauty sponge. What I love about this foundation is that it melts into your skin without gripping to any dry patches or dry skin. It also does not feel like you have any foundation on. It feels so lightweight. I'll take whatever's left on my brush and lightly put on the sides of my nose, just so that way by the time I go in with the contour, it'll have something to fade into. And then whatever's left, I'll kind of graze on over the areas where I highlighted really lightly. There's literally pretty much nothing on my brush, but just so that everything looks really seamless. And from there, I'll take my damp beauty sponge and pat over everything. Oh my gosh, my hives are popping through my skin. I messed up by applying that lip gloss. Okay, so now I'm just going to contour the sides of my nose. Now, this is something that I recognize on myself, is that sometimes when I cream contour, I end up needing to use more product because then I have to re-clean up with the concealer, then you have to set it with a powder. And with this clean makeup look, like I said, I want to be more intentional and use less products more effectively. So I have found that just by going in with a powder contour on top of my cream, gives me the effect of a cream contour without all the extra steps, goes on smoother, it prevents it from looking muddy. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Medium. I'm going to take the tip of my Makeup by Mario F1 Face Brush, the little angled part, super lightly dip into the product, and then I'm going to work it into the front part of my eyebrows first, and then super lightly just bring it down. I don't know why this works, but it just does, and it gives me a way more diffused nose contour. And I'm doing all this before I blend out the concealer in the center of my nose. And now taking the same brush that I used to blend out the concealer under my eyebrow, just lightly diffusing the concealer in the center of my nose. And then taking my beauty sponge and tapping over everything. Yeah, I just like it. I feel like it gives me a softer nose contour. Then when I set my under eye, that'll help clean up the contour around my nose a little bit better. So to cream contour, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 50. And with the tip of the bigger side of my F1 Makeup by Mario brush, pick up that product, and I'm going to do a line like here. Not blending it out yet. Do a line on this side. Then I'm going to work the rest of it on the bigger portion of the brush. Start pushing this upward and smile so that way I don't drag the contour too far down. Take whatever's left on my brush and work on my forehead, and also bring whatever's left on my jawline. I'm then gonna pick up some concealer on my beauty sponge and lightly use that to clean up underneath of the cream contour. This just helps it so that everything looks super intentional, clean, and precise. Now for my favorite part, time for cream blush. Hopefully this will get rid of the hive on my cheek, but I'm gonna use my NARS liquid blush. I apply like a half a pump on the back of my hand. I'm going to work that into this Makeup by Mario F3 face brush. I like that this brush is small, precise, but still fluffy. And I'm just going to smile and start tapping this right on top of the contour. My beauty sponge, and again, you always want to tap over everything just to make sure we keep everything super seamless. So now when it comes to setting the face, I'm going to only set the areas where I really need to set, which is typically under eyes, my nose, my chin, and my forehead. Those are the only places that get shiny on me this time of year. If you have very oily skin, you're gonna wanna set your whole face. But again, since I want to be more intentional and effective, I'm not just going to set my whole face if my whole face does not need setting. So I'm going to use my Hourglass Veil translucent powder. I'm going to use a small powder puff to really control where I'm placing that powder. Start by applying it on the sides of my nose. And then from there, I'm just going to drag that down. I like how this is like super pointy and precise, so I can really control where I'm placing the powder. And then I'm going to push it in so it doesn't settle on any creases, and then push it out. Whatever's left on my powder puff, there's pretty much nothing, but I'm just gonna lightly press on my eyelid, set them. Let's move on to the eyes for now. I feel like the clean girl makeup always has very minimal, neutral, natural colors, not intense shine. So because of that, I'm gonna use my Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette, because this has like your everyday neutrals in it. I think I'm gonna stick with like these 3 shades right here, because those like mimic the natural undertone of my skin. If you don't have the Master Mattes palette, I also recommend the e.l.f. eyeshadow quad in truffle. This is only $3 and it has very similar tones to work with. This fluffy blending brush, I'm gonna start off, I think I'll start off with this color so I have most control. I'm gonna pick that up with the tip of the brush and tap off the excess, and then I'm just gonna start working that in like a V shape here. Just using super light pressure to draw out the shape that I want. I really love the Master Mattes palette because it makes it easy to build up the colors. You can build up the shape that you want, like these very soft tones. Now I'm going to dip into this color, just taking a little bit on the tip of the brush, and we're just going to intensify that a little more. Lying, I want to take it with a smaller brush because like I said, with this look you want to be very intentional in getting in all those crevices. I'm going to take that same shade just with a slightly smaller fluff brush, buff the excess, and we're going to start tapping it right on top of my lashes. And then I'm going to look straight forward and go right in my crease, make sure I get in all those nooks and crannies. And then I take the brush like this and I'll flick it up and out toward the tail of my brow. That way I can lift everything a little bit better. I'm gonna pause and take the other blending brush to soften these edges. Yeah, and it's all about taking your time, being minimal but super precise. See how that just like diffused everything and it looks so effortless but also very intentional. I'm gonna take whatever's left on my brush and start lightly bringing it inward. Now taking this small, slightly fluffy shader brush, I'm gonna dip into this shade in the palette and just lightly start tapping that again right on top of my lash line. And then using the very tip of that brush to create almost like a straight edge on the end of the eyeshadow, flicking it up like that. And then lightly blending in, creating a little line like that. And then taking the brush like this and flicking it up to slightly blend it some more. And then bringing it in for more definition in here, flicking it up in here. And taking the previous blending brush and making sure those edges are all blended and diffused. Taking the light matte color in the palette and a little bit of the shade next to it. I'm gonna use that to highlight underneath of here. And then, as always, blend it out. Then taking the lightest shade, I like this inner corner. And you guessed it, blend it out. I'm gonna repeat everything on this side and then I'll be right back. Alright, so now taking my shader brush, I think I'll take this shade in the palette, the more mustardy undertone, but I'm going to use this as a guide because I don't want any fallout. Now that my eyes are done, I'm just going to wipe off the bake underneath of my eyes. Then from there, I'm going to take my Makeup by Mario Perfect Brown Eyeliner, and I'm just going to line my eyes where I need it. I'm gonna line it enough to give it definition without doing anything too much. I'm gonna start off by tightlining this inner corner here. I find that that gives my eye a lot of definition and depth. And then I'm also going to tightline my top lash line because that's gonna give my lashes a lot of volume. And then I only do a line on this last third of my top lash line to help lift it and just help kind of like balance out the eye a little bit more. So just right here, again, I don't need it to go across the whole eye. And then I'll do a little dot like here to lift. And then I'll take my brush side of my eyeliner to blend this out so that there aren't harsh edges. And you can see it looks very clean, minimal, and intentional. I also love using the Makeup by Ariel eyeliner because it doesn't run. I hate when this inner part gets all gloppy. It's like the opposite of clean girl makeup. This stays put all day. It doesn't run. It doesn't like gunk up in any areas. Just an all-around great eye pencil. I'm now going to apply some blush. I'm going to be using my mineralize blush by MAC, and I'm just lightly going to go over where we applied the cream blush. I like that this blush has a glow to it too because it adds a subtle highlight to my skin so that I don't necessarily need to go in with a separate highlight. Hourglass bronzer, and taking the small side of my hourglass brush, I'm just going to lightly press this on my forehead. I like using the smaller brush because it helps me have better control in how I'm applying it and how much product I'm applying. And then just to ensure that underneath of my bronzer doesn't look muddy, I'm going to take a little bit extra of my hourglass powder and my powder puff, and we're going to clean up and then just go right under. Tap off the excess on the back of my hand, smile, and go right under. And I literally blend it out right away because I hate when it's too bright under there. Now is when I like to set my face with my MAC Fix Plus. From there, I'll take my MAC highlight palette to highlight down the center of my nose. Take my blush brush and apply just a tiny bit on like my forehead and the high points of my cheek. And then to soften up my pores and texture, I'm going to take a little bit of my Fenty Invisimatte pressed powder, a tiny bit with my powder puff, and I'm just pushing that in right here where my pores are a bit large or whatever. I guess I can apply a little bit of my highlight. I'm going to take the more golden tone in the palette and put that in my inner corner right here, just using a really light hand. Now when it comes to mascara, I always curl my eyelashes. I'm going to apply my MAC False Lash Primer because I want my lashes super long and full. Then I'm going to add my Revlon Big Bad Lash for a lot of volume and length and curl. And then I'll take a little bit of my L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara if I need to further separate. For the lipstick, I love to go with like a natural lip pinky color. So lately I've been loving to use Kokie retractable lip pencil in pink mauve. And then my Revlon Color Stay Overtime lip color in Bare Maximum. This is a 16-hour wear lipstick, so I love it because it will stay put all day. I don't have to worry about it like feathering. And then I like that it has the sealant gloss on the other side. It helps lock the lipstick in place, but it also gives you that very like juicy plump lip look. I'm gonna give my lips a little more definition with my Maybelline Totally Toffee lip pencil. The sealant is what really ties it together. Alright you guys, and here you have it. This is the simple and effective clean girl makeup look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did like it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I love you guys. Hit the subscribe button, join the fam. I'd love to have you here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!